All right, so we can start this over. Sorry, I don't know, for some reason my computer kind of froze on me in the middle of this problem. So I'm gonna redraw the shapes. Okay, so pick up here from part 1. This will be part 2 of the video. So I'm gonna redraw my shapes and relabel them. Okay, so at this point I was coloring this side in. So this side BA corresponds with side DC, right? Because that's the part opposite of our point. Okay, and line AC is going to go, oh sorry, AE is going to correspond with line CE. Okay, so I'm going to need that to write my proportion. So I know I'm going to write a proportion, and I'm going to use adjacent side lengths. So that means I'm going with the sides in my proportion, in my the sides within, or the measurements within my shape. So measurement AB is 15, and then measurement DC is 10. Then we have AE. Do we know how long AE is? It is not 12. 12 is CE. You see how we have this line here that tells us that it goes from here to here and it has a question mark? That is because we don't know how long AE is. So that one is our question mark. And then we have CE, which is 12. Okay. So now, instead of using a question mark, what is something that we use in math class when we don't know something? When we want to represent the unknown? Yes, X is correct. So when we don't know something and we need something to stand in for it, we use the letter X or any letter, but most often we use the letter X. So now we can set up our proportion. And I'm using adjacent lengths. So AB I know is 15, and the side adjacent to it is AE, which I do not know what that is. Measure, or how long that measurement is, so that I'm using X. Then for my smaller shape, I have CD, which is 10, and that's the one that corresponds with 15, so it's going to go on top just like 15. Then we have 12 for CE, which is the one that corresponds with AE, which is X. So now if you look, I have my bigger shape on the left and my smaller figure on the right. Okay, and they are set up. So now we can cross multiply and divide. So you're going to have X times 10, which would be 10X, and then you have 15 times 12. Okay. So you're going to multiply those two. Oops, let me change the color so we can see. Can't write with white on white. 15 times 12, you're going to multiply those two to get your answer. So 2 times 5 is 10. That is correct. Carry your 1. Cross out. Don't cross out your 2 quite yet. I got a little bit ahead of myself. 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 is 3. Sorry. Now I add my placeholder, and now I would cross off my 2. Sorry, guys. 1 times 5 is 5. I already used that 1, so I can cross it out. 1 times 1 is 1. So now I can add these two. 0 plus 0 is 0. 3 plus 5 is 8, and then bring down my 1. So we have 10x equals 180. Okay, are you done? No, right? Because your proportion says cross multiply and divide to solve a proportion. So now we have to divide. What are we dividing by? If you said 10, that is correct. We're dividing by the number in front of our variable because we want our variable by ourselves. So 10x divided by 10 is x. 180 divided by 10 is 18. So this measurement here is 18. It doesn't have a unit, so I don't know what the unit would be, but it is 18. Okay. All right, moving on to our next example. This is going to be your turn. So remember, you have to start by redrawing your shapes. So because you have one inside the other. So let's go ahead and redraw our shapes. So that's going to be my bigger shape, and then my smaller shape. I didn't draw that one as good as my first one, so let me try to draw it a little bit better. Because this is at an angle. Okay, so now that we have our shapes redrawn, sorry, now we can label them. So let's go ahead and label them. So you have AB, because we're doing our bigger shape, ABC, and then you have your smaller shape, which is D, E, and C. Okay, so your measurement for DE is 7. Your measurement for DC is 15. Then you have your measurement for AB, which is 11. Do we know our measurement for AC? Remember, it is not 15. 15 is only from here to here. It's only the measurement for DC. And here you want the measurement for AC, which is from there to there. So we don't know that one. So that is our X. Okay. So now that you have your sides, let's find our corresponding sides. So you have AB. AB is going to correspond with which one? If you said with DE, that is absolutely correct. Those two correspond. All right. So we said side length AB and side length DE correspond with each other. So now let's find our next corresponding side. So we need to know the side length of AC. So we need to use that side because that is the side we're looking for. So now which side corresponds with AC? Okay. If you said DC, that is correct. All right, so now you're able to set up your proportion. That was supposed to be in white, not in green. So that you can use, if you want to use the colors um, that we color coded with just in your proportion, you can. Okay, so go ahead and set up your proportion, and then you're gonna cross multiply and divide like our third step says solve. Okay. All right, moving on to the next problem. So it says, now let's put it into use in the real world. So now we're going to look at some real world problems, how you would actually be able to use this in the real world. Okay, so this is our first problem. It says, a palm tree casts a shadow that is 28 feet long. Sorry, I was trying to see something. A 6-foot sign casts a shadow that is 8 feet long. How tall is the palm tree? So here it says, draw your triangles. You don't have these on your paper, so you would simply draw just a triangle. I mean, you can draw a palm tree if you want, or you can just draw a triangle. Okay, so you can do them like that. I already have those two shapes. My drawing. I'm just gonna kind of show you how they make a triangle. You see, they make a triangle. So now we know that these are similar, or we're gonna see if they're similar. Okay, so now let's label it. So it says a palm tree cast a shadow. So shadow is 28 feet long. And then a 6-foot sign cast a shadow. So let me erase that. Okay, so we have a 6-foot sign, and then it casts a shadow of 8 feet long. So a palm tree casts a shadow of 28 feet. So if this is the shadow, should my measurement be along the palm tree or along the bottom where the shadow's at? If you said the bottom, that is correct. So that is 28. Okay. Now it says you have a 6-foot sign. So a 6-foot sign, so that should be along with my sign. Cast a shadow that is 8 feet long. Okay, so these are feet. Okay, all of their our unit is feet. Do we know the height of the palm tree? No, because that's what we're looking for. It says how tall is a palm tree. So since that's the one we don't know, that's going to be our x. So now we can use that information uh, to set up our picture. But first, I am going to color code. Our x is the palm tree, so that's going to be our blue side. And since x is our palm tree, is our sign going to be corresponding with the palm tree or our the shadow? It's going to be the sign, right? Because you want the object with the object and then the shadow with the shadow. So we know that 28 feet is the shadow for the palm tree. So that is that one. And then the stop sign is the shadow there. Okay? Or that's the shadow for the stop sign. So now I can go back and set up my proportion. So for this one, I'm going to use corresponding sides to set up my proportion. So here I'm going to use X because that is my blue side. So what measurement is blue on the for the stop sign triangle? 6 is correct. So now I'm going to have 28. Okay, so 28 is my pink side, and 28, does that belong with the palm tree, which is the X, or does that belong with 6, which is the stop sign? If you said with the X, you are correct because those are along the same triangle. So you see X and 28 are my big triangle. And what's going to go here? Well, 8 because that's the shadow for the stop sign. Uh, and so 6 and 8 are from my stop sign triangle. And then my sides correspond, my ratios correspond going up and down because they are by corresponding sides. So now I can cross multiply and divide. So x times 8, 8x equals 6 times 28. Okay, so I'm not going to finish solving it out. Go ahead and multiply this, and then remember you have to, once you find your cross products, you have to divide. So you're going to find 6 times 28, and then you have to divide. Okay, so moving on to our next problem. Okay, well, the next thing is our think, pair, share. So how can you use similar figures to find unknown measures? So we kind of we did that on the previous slide, right? How did we use our similar figures to find that unknown measure? Okay, so tell me. All right, and you can just write that at the bottom of your notes paper on the back, the answer to the think, pair, share. Okay, so now you have this real world problem. It says rectangle 1 has a length of 18 inches, so a length of 18 inches, and an area of 226 square inches. Rectangle 2 is similar to rectangle 1 and has a width of 9 inches. Find the area of rectangle 2. So we know that the length for rectangle 1, so I'm going to say this is 1 and this is 2. Okay? The length is 18 inches. Okay? And then for rectangle, it says rectangle 1 has a length, so this is rectangle 1, of 18 inches and an area of 216 squares inches. Rectangle 2 has is similar to rectangle 1 and has a width of 9 inches. So this is the width. We want to know the area of the rectangle. So we don't know this side, but we can figure it out, right? Because we know to find the area of a rectangle, that is just base times height or length times width. Well, they gave us the area of 216, okay? And they gave us 18. So we need to basically find the height or the width. Okay, so now we got to basically get that h by itself. So we have to divide by the number in front of it. So what is h equal? So 216 divided by 8. Okay, so I just realized my video was paused, so I don't know if you got where I said if this side is 9, then that means this side is also 9. Okay. Um, so once you divided 216 by 18, it gave you 12. So we knew that that was the width or the height of our rectangle. Then I color coded my corresponding side. So if this side is purple, then the side along the bottom is also going to be purple on this side. I color coded this one yellow. If this side is 9, this side is also going to be 9. So I color coded this one yellow to match with my uh, corresponding sides. Okay, so now that you have the measurements you need, you're not going to need this one because it's the same as this one. You can set up your proportion. Okay, so you can set them up with adjacent links or corresponding sides. I've showed you both ways in this video. Okay, once you set up your proportion, you're going to cross multiply and divide. Remember, they have to be lined up matching. Okay. All right, so now we have this problem. It says triangle QRS and TUV are similar. Which of the following statements is true? So the easiest way to solve these, I'm going to tell you, is to start by color coding. So QS corresponds with TV. SR corresponds with what? VU, that is correct. So now you have QR, and QR corresponds with TU. So now you want to figure out which statement is true. You're looking for your true statement. So it says QRRS. QR and RS. So QR is purple. RS is green. Okay, and those are on the same shape, right? That's my small shape. So I know my small is on that side. Then we have TU. TU is purple. Okay, and that's on my big shape. Then I have UV. Is UV correct? UV is green, right? So, and then this is my big. So do they line up? Yes. Okay, so let's check these other ones to make sure one of these doesn't. So QR, we know, is purple. QS is blue. TU is purple. And UV is green. Do they match up? No, right? Because these, like here, they were the same color at the bottom. Here, the color's different. While these are my small shapes, are both on my small shape, and these are both on my big shape, they do not line up color wise. So B cannot be your answer. So now you're going to check these. It says angle Q is congruent to angle V. So are angle Q and angle V in the same position? They are, then they are congruent. If they are not, then they are, and if they're not in the same position, then they cannot be congruent. Angle S is congruent to angle U. Again, if they are in the same position, yes, they are congruent. If they are not, then no, they are not congruent. So finish checking those angles and see if one of those is true. If not, then you know your answer is A. All right. So now you're going to go ahead and complete your independent practice. Okay. And once you're done with your independent practice, you will complete your exit ticket, and you can complete your exit ticket on your independent practice on the back at the bottom. Okay. So have a good day. If you have any questions, ask your teacher.